Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are, and welcome to another NerdTube Dragon Ball Daima episode review. I'm joined by my Z Fighter in Arms cousin Cheeto. How are you, sir?
Hanging in there.
Hey, that's the best we can do, right? Uh, so this week we're talking about episode 9, Thieves. Um, which we finally get a lot of meat and potatoes after a little bit of taste smattering the past couple of weeks. I would say we get a good bit of kind of development of plot at the end, at least a question answered from last week. Um, Before we start getting into particulars, do we want to do some general impressions, Cheeto?
Yes. So this is my impression of Goku. Hi, I'm Goku. And oh no, okay. So as soon as you said impressions, I'm like, I gotta mess with you. Yeah. I mean, this episode was okay. It's an okay follow up to what we got last episode. Last episode was banging meat and potatoes, like awesome fight in the first half, and then super like plot driven in the second half. And I would say this was kind of a filler episode, but in a good way. You know what I mean? Like the plot is progressing, but not much is happening. Rather than, and because if you think about it, like towards the end, Goku shows up in their plane. You know, they show up there because they're called there, and they can't even take them anywhere. So they're kind of right where they left off. And we don't know if they had to go back to talk to them, or if they like it was on their way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like they don't as far as I could tell, they didn't make reference as to whether or not they were going back to talk to. And I'm like, that's really stupid for them to go back, because it seems like they were Vegeta, Piccolo, and them are always behind them. So it's like, did they go back just to tell them, hey, we don't have room, when they probably could have just communicated that? So I was very confused at that, but we definitely got some great scenes for Jeets in this episode. Clubbing. I will now forever have it burned in my brain that Vegeta at a club.
How can you unsee it?
I mean, like, oh my god, it's fantastic. Um, and yeah, the first half, it's just a very stark, like, two. It was very like the beginning and the first half and the second half were just very different animals. And yeah, I did as we get into the particulars, I don't want to drone on too long, but like it's definitely a contrast in that.
It felt like a more traditional anime episode where it's based off two different manga chapters
I
instead
could
of
see that.
instead of one cohesive unit. It felt like two different mini stories.
I can see that.
And I kind of dug it. But no, we'll just get right on into it. After the fight with the Tamagami, the crew needs to rest. They've been moving on, but they haven't got very far. And instead of camping, they go to a very shady inn because Pansy needs a bath.
Goku needs a bath.
Goku needs a bath.
He's all
Pansy wants one
sweaty.
from fighting, yes. Uh, they get the genius idea to disguise Goku with the bear hat and hide the Dragon Ball in
I
a
mean,
bag.
actually, it didn't work that bad. It's just Goku wouldn't keep it on. He's like a dog. Like you try to put something on a dog and or a cat, and they just won't keep it on. They sit there and they go like this until they can get it off. And it's just like I knew that's exactly where this was going, because Saiyans have strong hair.
It's very tough. Product doesn't work on it.
Yeah. I remember the what was that, the filler episode in Super where they try to slick Goku's hair back, and like
Yeah.
it just came right back.
The Orale episode,
Yeah.
right?
That was a good episode.
So yeah, no, they choose to stay in the shadiest inn in the demon realm and almost immediately get marked by some super wholesome the thieves, the titular thieves. They notice because, like you said, Goku takes the hat off. At dinner, a diversion is created, and the bird Majin comes in and steals the ball. Uh, Fortunately, Pansy has a tracker, and Goku follows them and gets the ball back, and Glorio gets to show off his awesome lightning lasso magic technique. What were your thoughts on all that?
So it was fine. It was entertaining. Them tossing the ball back and forth, trying to keep it away from Goku. But we just got done watching him fight the Tamagami last episode. You know what I mean? Like if this happened earlier when he was still trying to figure everything out, but like he just fought the Tamagami in base, like he didn't do the whole fight in base form, but he held his own in base form. So like it's very hard for me to believe that these thieves just were able to keep the ball away from Goku just by playing literally monkey in the middle. Sorry, I had to channel my inner Frieza there. So monkey in the middle. Sorry, I cannot do a good Frieza.
The content's there, the idea is there.
But yeah, I mean, so was it entertaining? Sure. Yeah, it was fun. But like it's hard for, again, my rational brain though goes, wait a minute, how are these guys actually keeping this ball away from Goku? Like literally, I feel like Goku would have just, after imaged or whatever, and like gotten in between the ball and the next guy, and it would have been over. So it would have been maybe fine if Goku later on was like, like maybe Pansy was like, why did it take you so long to get the ball? And he's like, I was playing with them for a little bit, or something like that. Yeah, but
that's what I just assumed. I just assumed he was toying with them.
Yeah, maybe. And that might be it. That might be implied, maybe. Like, and I'm just missing it. But I just was like, really? Anyway. Nitpick aside. It was an okay little shenanigan.
Yeah, it's kind of what we've come to expect. More of it. Back at the end, Goku offered to keep watch, but then now this is entertaining. Yes, he struggles to stay awake. He holds his eyes open like that. Has various other tricks that he attempts to try to, and that eventually fails to keep watch overnight. Gets caught the next morning.
Yeah, but I feel like if anyone did try to come in there and steal the Dragon Ball, Goku would have woke up. Like it was right there beside him. Like if anyone would have tried to steal that, I feel like Goku would have sensed it. But that was my thought on it. I was like, yeah, they're not gonna, like they're at least like if it was like across the room, I could be like, come on, Goku, don't be dumb. But at least it was like sitting like right there beside him on the couch or whatever, wherever he was on. But I knew he wasn't gonna stay awake the whole night. Get out of here. Like it's
No
Goku.
way. It's Goku. They got him full and everything.
Yeah.
But no, nothing came of it. They leave with Shin noting that their plane didn't get stolen this time. Cut to Vegeta and Bulma and crew missing their plane.
And that was not the same area that they were in the beginning of the series where they got their plane stolen the first time, right? I saw somebody online, and I want to say it was Geekdom. I was kind of listening to his review after I watched it. I think he said something about like that getting their plane stolen in the exact same spot. I'm like, I don't think that was the exact same spot.
Okay. It wasn't.
I didn't think so because I was like, I don't remember this spot before. It was definitely a more unique looking. Like the first spot looked more like a Mos Eisley type thing, and this one kind of looked more like a Smurf village. There was a lot of flora. There was like around and stuff. So I thought it was very different.
Yeah, it's a different location for sure.
So take that, Geekdom, spreader of misinformation. No, I'm kidding. I know that triggers him.
So yeah, we get a flashback to Vegeta at the club, bumping into a guy, not a fight breaking out, him taking out his frustration on the entire situation, on them, and ends up calling that, we get the motivation for why the plane's been stolen. But they call the princess for backup. What are your thoughts on Vegeta and his brawl at the club?
I mean, it was fine. Like, it was funny. I mean, it basically it does mirror like this, the second, third episode that we had when
It
they actually got
does.
it does mirror that. Like, don't get me wrong, so that's why I'm kind of like, okay, like we've been here before. It's kind of funny the difference on how Vegeta would handle a situation rather than Goku, like that kind of, maybe that's what they were going for as a parallel. But I mean, it was fun. As I said, seeing Vegeta in a club is something I never thought I needed to see, but here we are.
Here we are. We've seen it. We can't unsee it. We
Beautiful
get
fight, by the way. But I mean, it wasn't as good as the fight in the first fight in the bar with Goku. Definitely not as good looking. But that fight was a bit longer and a bit more choreographed. This one was just like Vegeta's just like ending these guys, like before it even starts.
Yeah, definitely. Just a one-sided smackdown, whereas Goku likes to toy with his opponents. But it's very reminiscent of what we got in the earlier episodes for sure. Cut to Goma and Degsu finding out that the crew is in the demon realm and have one of the balls already. This scene I thought was particularly entertaining. And I noted that Goma bemoaned not wishing for the evil eye first.
I think are you the one who predicted that the evil eye is going to play a big factor in the latter half of this season? Or I thought you might have said that like early on in the show.
It was fairly early on when yeah.
I think I'm more starting to, now that they've mentioned it again and they're bringing it back to our attention. I think you're
Mm-hmm.
right. I think it is like the evil eye is going to play, like, it will probably play a major role. I don't know whether the Shin's sister, Arinsu, right? I'm terrible with
Mm-hmm.
these names. Arinsu is going to wish for it when she gets her hands on the Demon Realm Dragon Balls or what. But like, I feel like they keep on reminding us of this third eye, and they're bringing it up again, and we're like 9 episodes in. I feel like you're right. I feel like it's going to be something that, like, they're peppering it through here, and there's a reason for that when they, I feel like.
Yeah. They're calling it to mind on purpose for
Mhm.
sure, making sure we don't forget about it.
Yep.
So then we get to a moment that you alluded to earlier, wherein the two crews meet up. Only for Goku to tell them that there's no room on their plane for them to take the planeless contingent. They need their supplies too much. They have to keep their tent and such. And they just kind of fly off into the sunset. Hope you catch up somehow.
Yeah, that, I don't know if this was a Toriyama call, like if this was supposed to be a gag where like they show up just to tell them they can't take them. I don't know. Like, it almost seems like a Toriyama gag, maybe, or maybe it's just bad writing. I don't know. Like, I this really confused me, and this really put me off the episode where I'm like, why are they there if they can't take them? They knew there was at least four people, because they
Mm-hmm.
even made mention of Kibito, even though he's not there. Kibito, Vegeta, Piccolo, and Bulma. So again, as I said, unless it was on the way, like, but how did they get ahead of them? Unless when they stopped to fight the Tamagami, they got ahead, and then Goku and them party caught up to them. But again, it makes no sense in my opinion. And then it would make
Yeah.
no sense for them to go back just to tell them they don't have room.
I mean, they said they were going to meet them at Warp Sama, but that doesn't really imply the directionality.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I get where you're coming from with that. That's a pretty big gripe.
I think really what they should have done is they should have one of two things should have happened. We either should have this second half of this episode should have just been an adventure with Vegeta and friends. Like I don't know why Goku had to show up. You know what I mean? Like why I get it, he's the main character, but it's like why did he even have to be here? Like, don't forget Goku's in this show. It's like, yeah, we just saw him in the first half of the episode. Like, why can't we just have like, oh no, like even if you are recycling the whole our plane got stolen gag, at least let Vegeta and them deal with it.
Which they end up having to do
Anyway.
anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So this takes a couple of minutes of the runtime away from what could have been that, second half of the episode.
Or what they could have done is they could have had Goku and friends help them search for the plane, and then they come across the bandits in the woods or something, and then you get a nice little not montage, but you get a nice little like Vegeta Goku as kids like taking on all of the thieves or whatever. Like everybody loves their Goku Vegeta team ups, like so like you can have that in this little like even though those guys don't stand a chance, you still that's your moment right there. Like there's like 1,000 things I could have think to do with this moment rather than just have Goku show up to tell them we ain't got room for you. And I feel like Glorio and Pansy and Shin are all smart enough to realize this.
Yeah. This is just one of those idiot moments.
Yeah, like if it was just Goku, I could see him being stupid enough to be like, "Oh yeah, we don't have any room." But it's like no, like Glorio, Pansy, and even Pansy because she's little or young. Like even Shin and Glorio should have realized this because they knew how many people were coming. Again, I just the more I talk about it, the worse this gets. So just stop me now.
Okay. So we'll go on. Jeets ends up taking out the plane thieves who come to take their revenge on his own, except for one assist from Piccolo. So yeah, he quickly dispatches them. Could have been just Vegeta and Piccolo shine if you'd left out the Goku coming by part. Could have freed up
it
a couple
extra
minutes
seconds,
worth of fight to show off. So yeah, I didn't come in here expecting that aspect of it to bother me as much, but the more I think about it now, the more it's bothering me.
Yeah, I just as I said, same with me. Like I was like I was coming into this and I'm like I didn't think there was too much bad in this episode except for that one little thing. And then as I kind of peel the onion layers back on that one little thing, I'm like, now wait a minute. Damn it! Now this
The sharper it stings, the more you peel it back, the sharper the sting.
Yep.
But we did get more of Anansu and the witch at the very end of the episode, and we get a call back to something from very early C. They use a Saibai-Man seed.
So, do you mind if I jump in here? So,
not at all.
So the one thing about this is I don't mind it. I don't mind the Cybermen thing showing up. Like whatever, the Cybermen is fine. So does this mean that the Cybermen came like them being grown like and all that if that came from the demon realm, which is fine because obviously a lot comes from the demon realm into the main world. So I mean you could have people that just trade, with like they could have had, but Vegeta could have I guess he doesn't know yet. So what I would hope is that maybe Vegeta goes, he looks like a Cyberman, or maybe even Goku never saw the Cybermen, right? So
no.
Yeah. So Piccolo did. So Piccolo would be like, hey, they look like Cybermen. That looks like a Cyberman. I would hope Vegeta would say something like, well, the Saiyans did do a lot of trading with people from the demon realm, or did some kind of. It was just a part of trade, and that's how they got the Cybermen. They just never mentioned how they got them before, because the Cybermen are very weird. You know what I mean? Like they're not. I would be okay with them being from the demon realm. The only problem with that is that we're getting so many things that are coming from the demon realm now that it's just like, okay, we're kind of overutilizing the demon realm as a source of some of this other weird stuff. So, or this maybe the witch, that the Majin witch, I can't remember her name. Maybe she traded with someone from the main world, the main universe, for the Cybermen, because she never said she grew them. She just said she used to have so
Mhm.
many, she used to be able to sell them or give them out or something like that. But she doesn't say she actually makes them. So,
No, she mentioned trading them with the outsiders, though. So
but did she mean like trading to or trading from? Like, was she
I don't.
receiving them or giving them?
I didn't really think about it, so I didn't pay that much attention or note that part.
And that's just my thing, is like, okay, you do have a moment here to like build some lore, but at the same time, I just feel like it's like the easy answer is like, oh, it's the demon realm. It came from the demon realm. Everything weird comes from the demon realm. Everybody has pointed ears, demon realm. Like, not everybody who has pointed ears. I know some people do not, or some people that are not from the demon realm have pointed ears, but still, it's like, I don't know. Do you think they're over? Do you think they're abusing the demon realm at this point? Like, oh, this came from the demon realm, and this came from the demon realm, and this came from the demon realm.
I hadn't thought about it until just now, but it's starting to wear thin. Yeah.
I mean, don't look. These are just things I notice. I mean, if you are fine with it, that's fine. For me, I'm just kind of
But
like, I don't want them to abuse the demon realm. Like everything weird comes from the demon realm. It's like, no, I mean, the prime universe, I'm going to call it the main universe, can have weird things.
yeah, that used to be the hallmark of the Dragon World is it had these weird mystical ad, wondrous things about it and aspects to it. So don't kind of cheapen the original main universe of the Dragon World
Yeah.
by making everything come from the demon realm. But all that aside, they end up with Majin Ku emerging from the pot.
Sounds like a baby. And we haven't even gotten to baby yet. That's GT.
No, but
Majin
cooing like a baby,
Ku.
coo like a baby. I get it. Um,
I'm funny.
you are absolutely.
No, I'm not. Don't insult me.
Aren't Aransu tasked this new Majin with defeating Tamagami number 1 and obtaining the Dragon Ball.
I will be very interested to see this. I did not see that coming, so I was kind of I just, for some reason in my brain, I just always assumed that Goku or Vegeta would be fighting the Tamagamis, like all three of them. I'm very interested to see how Majin Ku does against the Tamagami number 1, and are their power levels relative to their number? Is 3 the weakest, 2 the middle, and then 1 the strongest? So then Majin Ku can go in there, and then will Majin Ku be able to beat Tamagami 1? Are they all equal in power level? I don't think, and correct me if I'm wrong, that they stated if there was any hierarchy of power with them. I think they just said they're powerful. So is there a difference? Are they all the same? Because feel like that's like a stupid idea, because if Goku already beat Tamagami 3 like the way he did, then we already know Goku can beat all three of them if they're even, if they're all three of them are even power levels. I know I used the
Yeah,
PL word, sorry.
no, it's okay. Uh, no, I don't recall any mention of a hierarchy of power between the Tamagamis. I feel like this is a good plot decision to make it. It would be kind of a foregone conclusion unless they did severe power escalation of a Goku victory against the Tamagamis, or you know, because they're not going to give Vegeta a chance to shine.
I think they should give him a chance to shine against Tamagami too. You know what I mean? Like
Hopefully, they will,
I
but
I mean, let's say Majin Ku goes and beats Tamagami 1, and then Vegeta beats Tamagami 2 when they get to him. That's when they come together, and then it's like them versus, Tamagami, like Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, Shin versus Tamagami, or not Tamagami, Majin Ku. I think, and I've seen on Geekdom's videos, I think there's another Majin coming. I'm not 100% sure. So I don't. I know that this guy's probably not the main bad, though. I can tell he's not the main bad. He just seems very like penultimate, like not penultimate boss, but like mini boss. You know what I mean? Like he feels mini boss.
He feels like that head henchman.
Yeah. So I don't think he's going to be the final stage. I think honestly they're going to do something with Arinsu and that third eye, like you were saying. Like I think it's going to come down to that. Like that third eye is going to power up somebody. May not be Arinsu. It may be, Majin Ku. Like maybe he gets beat and then they use this third eye on Majin Ku. And as I said, I'm guessing at this point. This just knowing Dragon Ball and knowing where it goes normally, that's my guess at this point. Is that if it's not Majin Ku, then that'll probably be whatever big bad they create after that.
More than likely.
Yeah.
So that was this week's episode of Daima. Do we want to give it a mark? Of course.
We can give it a mark.
Don't know why I'm even asking. That's a foregone conclusion.
I threw you off this week by asking you to host. That's why. So it's okay. I screwed you up.
No, I'm adjusting to the recording instead of being live and having a group to kind of wrangle.
Yeah.
It's been nice having a little tete-a-tete.
Go ahead.
I'll go ahead and mark it a 7. I enjoyed this week's episode. It was nice to see some Vegeta action. I would have liked to have seen more of it, thus the reduced number. Cheeto?
That's actually exactly what I was going to say. Is I was going to give it an 8, but the more we talked about it, I dropped it to a 7 because that stuff with Goku just kind of bothered me, and it bothered me more and more the more we talked about it. So yeah, 7. I agree. 7 Dragon Balls. I don't want to say lucky number 7 because I don't feel like that this episode was it's a generous 7. If I'm being honest, I wouldn't say it's a solid 7.
No, it's a 7 out of goodwill to the series that it's built up so far.
Mm-hmm.
So let us know in the comments below if you agree or disagree with our ratings. What would you rate it yourself? And are we off base with our predictions about the evil third eye? Maybe consider subscribing to NerdTube like this. Share. But most importantly, until next time, take care. We'll catch you in the next one.
Bye-bye.